Ahad supposedly means one according to Muslims. To repeat what has been presented in an earlier video, Ahad is always used to speak of one within a group of other things. One of, the first of. Or it can mean not anyone. But it doesn't mean one. The word for one in Arabic is wahid. In the 10th century, a Jewish scholar by the name of Saadia Gaon wrote a translation infused with his own commentary of the Torah into Arabic. If we look at how he translated the famous passage Deuteronomy 6:4, simply known as the Shema to Jews, this is what's known as Judeo-Arabic, which is the Arabic language written in the Hebrew script. So if you know how to read Hebrew and you're confused as to what these words mean, don't worry, it's Arabic. It's just written in the Hebrew alphabet. He translated the Hebrew word Ahad as al-Wahid, meaning the one. Note how he doesn't translate Ahad as Ahad, but instead as Wahid or al-Wahid in this context, meaning the one. What's interesting about this is if we go to the Quran in chapter 112 verse 1, it says that Allah is Ahad. However, that isn't the only version of this verse. That's right, the holes in the standard narrative, the qira'at conundrum,
This was the issue, that the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at and relationships between them, these are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there.
How does this apply to Surah 112? Well, let's see Yasir Qadhi's uncertainty. One of the key things that came out of this deleted interview was that Yasir Qadhi admitted that because there are so many variants, a multiplicity of readings, that we can't know. Well, let's hear it from him.
The problem is very simple. Yani, are you certain that that's the way that it was in early Medina? The problem is very simple. Yani, are you certain that that's the way that it was in early Medina?
We can't be sure what actually was recited in early Medina. We can't be sure what Muhammad originally said. Let's apply this to the word Ahad in chapter 112 verse 1. There's an encyclopedia of the multiple readings of the Quran by a scholar named Abdul Latif al-Khatib. He compiles both the canonized, that is, the canonical readings accepted by Sunni Muslims today, and then he includes readings that we cannot find in printed qira'at today. We know of these readings through different hadith, commentary, and by other means. What we want to focus on is a section on chapter 112, where he compiles all sorts of different readings and versions of verse number 1. What we see now are all sorts of variation. There's the popular version that is read that says, say, He is Allah Ahad. Now some people, such as Abdullah bin Mas'ud, who we'll see had a whole bunch of variations for this verse. And remember that Muhammad said that he's one of the 4 people that people should learn the Quran from. Well, which Quran? Which version? So Ibn Mas'ud and Ubay bin Ka'b used to drop the word say and just read it as He is Allah Ahad. Muhammad used to sometimes read it as Allahu Ahad without the words say or He is. So when people learn the Quran from Ibn Mas'ud, did he include the word say, He is, or how did he teach it? Like Yasir Qadhi said, or like he implied, from the Islamic standpoint, we'll truly never know how the Quran was originally recited by Muhammad in early Medina. There are way too many variations, way too many versions. Now I've put yellow and orange boxes around the ones that are extremely interesting because the word Ahad is completely dropped out, and instead the word the one, or in Arabic al-Wahid, is used instead. There's a version that says Allah the one, or Allah is the one, that is al-Wahid. No mention of Ahad at all. There's another version which Umar bin al-Khattab and Ibn Mas'ud and others which used to say or used to read it as, say He is Allah, the One, using again Al-Wahid, not Ahad, not Al-Ahad, but Al-Wahid. These variations of the Quran that I've highlighted here use the word Al-Wahid instead of Ahad in chapter 112 verse 1. Once again, when people learned the Quran from Ibn Mas'ud, as Muhammad instructed them to do, did he teach them to say this particular way or that particular way? Say He is Ahad Al-Wahid? How many different versions just for this one verse alone? Sometimes they read the verse as, say He is Allah, the One, and include As-Samad in it as well. So Al-Wahid and As-Samad were part of this one verse in this version of the Quran. And it was also said that way without the word say as well. You can see on the screen here that I've put the word Wahid in blue, the definite article Al in orange, and then on the top I put the word Ahad in green. If you look at the word Wahid, you'll see that it nearly looks identical to Ahad except for the very first letter. In Arabic, you read from right to left. So you'll see on the right side of the word, there's a letter that almost looks like the number 9. That's the letter Waw in Arabic. You can see I've isolated it below with an arrow pointing up to where it is in the word Wahid. I've also highlighted in blue boxes where the word Al-Wahid occurs in these various readings of the Quran, and I underline the definite article with an orange line so you can see. And if you look at the top, I put the word Ahad in a green box just so you can compare these words even if you don't know how to read Arabic. In this hadith, Muhammad asks his companions, if it's too hard for any of you, side note, any of you, guess what word that is in Arabic? Ahadukum, any of you. Is it too hard for any of you to recite a third of the Quran in a night? And they said, who has the ability to do that? And Muhammad replied by saying, Allahul Wahid as-Samad. Allah al-Wahid as-Samad is a third of the Quran. Notice that Muhammad said this verse as al-Wahid here, not Ahad, along with other missing words such as say and He is. Muhammad, Umar, Ibn Mas'ud, and others recited this verse with al-Wahid instead of Ahad, along with many other variations. So what do Muslims say when you ask them what version of the Quran is written in this make-believe preserved tablet? Does it say Ahad? Does it say al-Wahid? How about any other variations? Does it say it like this? Does it say it like that? What version do they think is in this so-called preserved tablet?
The Prophet said it like this and he said it like that. Allah said it like this and he said it like that. Because they keep asking the question, so which one is in the preserved tablet? What's the answer to that question?
The preserved tablet is that of the unseen, and we will not be given access to that.